Okay, I'm number 6, parity for peace. Parity means equality. What do Palestinians and Israelis want as a destination besides peace and security? Both want statehood in their historic homeland with a capital in Jerusalem. Israel wants to be recognized as a Jewish state. Palestinians want to exercise their right of return. Is there any way all these desires can be met? Yes, if we have a different kind of two-state solution. Two states, Israel and Palestine, on the same land, from the river to the sea. Call them parallel states, or a condominium, which in international law means sovereignty by two states over the same land without dividing it up into national zones. How would a condominium work? Each state would have its own flag, anthem, holidays, and government. The legislature of each state would make laws for its own people on matters that do not affect the people of the other state, such as marriage. On matters affecting both states, the legislatures would come together as equals to make the laws. The laws would be carried out by a condominium government equally staffed by both states. Positions of power would be rotated between Israelis and Palestinians at fixed intervals. Palestinians and Israelis together would defend the borders. Joint Israeli-Palestinian police forces would keep order inside the shared space. People who violated condominium laws would be tried by courts staffed by both Israelis and Palestinians. Otherwise, they would be tried by their own courts. Would parity for peace be better than the present situation? Yes. Now there is little that Palestinians can do if Israelis want to take their land or water. Under parity for peace, the Palestinians would have a state to fight for their rights. Their state would have as much power as that of the Israeli government. Palestinians would also be able to move and live anywhere in the shared territory, as would Israelis. Israel would now be internationally recognized as a Jewish state whose borders encompassed Judea and Samaria, just as Palestinians will be able to have reclaimed their historic homeland. Palestinian refugees would be able to return to Palestine without threatening the existence and Jewishness of Israel. Israel's demographic worries would be over. Israel would no longer be stigmatized as an apartheid state because it will have accepted the principle of parity, equality. Israelis and Palestinians will experience peace because the underlying issues of the conflict will have been addressed in a way that seems fair. Money used to kill people could now be used to help people. How do we go from the now to achieving the vision of parity for peace? For a 2-year period, Israelis and Palestinians could agree to try out parts of the plan while working out the details of shared governance, equal access by individuals to resources, and refugee return. During this period, Palestinians would agree not to import arms, and Israeli civilians would be allowed into Gaza to inspect imports. Israelis would agree to suspend settlement building in the West Bank and East Jerusalem, and both nations would agree to a ceasefire. Israel would withdraw its troops from the West Bank, except along the international borders of the West Bank. Joint Palestinian and Israeli police forces would keep order in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. Military rule would end, and both Israelis and Palestinians would be tried and, if convicted, penalized under laws that did not discriminate on the basis of nationality. Other countries could help by being mediators and providing unarmed peacekeepers for as long as both parties wanted them. They could offer Palestinian refugees the right to live in their country, either as citizens or as permanent residents with citizenship in Palestine. They could offer Israeli Jews repatriation. the international community could contribute to a fund to help refugees reestablish their lives and be compensated for lost property.